Well, good morning and welcome back to Ask the Mayor. I'm David Mason, and this is a program I do every other week just to answer questions that come up throughout the community about what your city government is doing. As almost always, I've got Derrick Silas with me, head of our communications department, does a great job. I'm glad you're here. Help me with these questions in case I come across something I don't know. Maybe you can bail me out of it. But I do appreciate you being here every other week. So with that being said, I would always encourage you to send your questions to askmason@enid.org. We'll try to answer any question that you have that's related to the city government. We'll never use your name, so please send those questions in so that we can talk about them. So, Derrick, tell me what we have this morning.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me. Well, one of the residents, we have askmason@enid.org, so one of the questions that came through was from a resident saying, sometimes they feel like there isn't quite nothing to do what they would like to do. And they were wondering, is there any type of grant available to assist if residents or business want to come in and put in entertainment, a different type of entertainment into the community?
Other than what we have?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that there could be several opportunities there. The first one that comes to mind is the city of Enid has our own grant writer. His name's Stephen Pickett. I tease Stephen all the time. He hunts money is what he does for the city of Enid. And you never know when the federal government or the state government comes up with different programs. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm aware of any of those, but Stephen would probably know. I would search there first. And then secondly, and it just depends what type of business it is, but out at Autry Tech, we also have, through the ERDA and Autry Tech, we have the incubator where people can start businesses out there. Now, it may not work if it's an entertainment type business, but that is a special facility that just works so well to help get businesses off the ground and started so they don't have so much overhead to start out with. And then the other one I was thinking about is our ERDA, our Enid Regional Development Authority. And they have dollars set aside that can help specific businesses. So there's an application that you can fill out. And if they can see where that's going to employ multiple people, and that it's good for their overall community, they do have dollars that are available. Sometimes as a grant, sometimes as a loan, but it's a low interest loan. And so those are the three places that I think that I would start out. I do want to say though that I think as a community, it's up to our city government, specifically the mayor and the city commission and the ERDA, the new ERDA director. I mean, that's a group of people. But I think that whenever we go out and we purchase 400 acres to develop a industrial park, and then we search and we try to find businesses that will bring in 100, 200 or more employees. As those people come in and they purchase homes, I think it will cause more demand for entertainment. So I think that instead of sometimes us always having to go out and recruit entertainment, that as we develop business, restaurants, motels, entertainment will automatically come because of our growth, if that makes sense. Now, all that being said, I know we just put money or about to put money in a new movie theater. And I do want to clarify that a little bit. I know that was one of the other questions coming up because that whole project, it's gone on for a long time. 3 years ago when I was on Ward 6 Commission, or I was a Ward 6 Commissioner, we were trying to get a movie theater then. almost had a deal done. COVID come along, shut everything down, and the movie business took a hit, not just locally but nationwide. Shut a lot of things down. That's now started to pick back up, and we have been working the last year or so to try to get a contract or a deal to have a new movie theater come to Enid, and I think we're there. So the question was, did we actually vote on that? And the answer is no. What I want everybody to know is the city doesn't build businesses. We're not in the business of building businesses. Now, we can help business along in different ways, whether that's an incentive, whether that's a loan, whether that's allowing additional, if we take over some of the stormwater construction. I mean, there's a lot of different things that we can do to help a business, but we don't like owning business. We're not good at that, and we don't want to do that. So what we did with the movie theater was we found an existing movie theater operator. I believe Mr. Snell, Stetson Snell is the man's name. He either has 6 or 8 current movie theaters, and I know that his father and mother are in that business also and have several of those. So it's a big project. It's almost 54,000 square feet. It's 9 screens, duck pin bowling, and arcades, right? An arcade, along with all the regular concessions. So that costs a lot of money, especially in this day and time. It'll push $24 million to do that. So he has found financing through a bank out of Wisconsin to do that, but in order to secure financing on $24 million, you have to have a substantial amount of equity to make that happen. He's willing to bring money and put in on that. The city was willing to match that amount. So what we have agreed to do and what we're going to vote on tomorrow at 1 o'clock is not to build the movie theater, but to sign and provide a letter of commitment saying that if this goes through, if your financing goes through, we as a city will invest $2 million as an incentive for you to build this movie theater, and we will do a loan for $1.8 million that will be paid back over the next 10 years. So if I was a citizen sitting out there and I was, well, before I go on, let me stop. Once he has that letter of commitment, he'll take that up to the bank in Wisconsin. They have a packet, a loan package all put together, and then he will take all that to the USDA. Now you go, the USDA, that's interesting, because normally it would be the SBA, the Small Business Administration. However, during COVID, they loaded different agencies up with different dollars, and since there is food sold at the movie theater, this can go through the USDA. And if they agree that this is a good loan, they're not going to invest money in it, but they will back it. They will guarantee that loan for the bank out of Wisconsin, if that makes sense. So we're not voting on whether or not to have a movie theater. We want a movie theater. All we're doing is a letter of commitment that if you get your financing and if the USDA agrees this is a good loan and they're willing to back it and guarantee it, then we will put in our dollars. And to put some safeguards in there, we have insisted that our money, the $3.8 million, be put in a local Enid bank, and before any of those funds can be drawn, they have to bring invoices of what they're paying. We don't want to pay for something at another location. We want all of our dollars to stay right here in Enid. We also required that there are 2 large parcels out in front of the movie theater, and those have a lot of value. I think as that area develops out there that those will probably sell, and they're going to be very valuable. He had to allow us to be the first mortgage on those 2 parcels against our $1.8 million loan. So in the event that that were to go bad, we will own those parcels at the end. So we've tried to set up guarantees. And then the last thing I'd want to tell you about this, Derrick, is that that's a lot of money. I've talked to people all over Enid. They're excited. They wanted that. Every time we did a survey, whether here in Enid or whether it was on the base, the number one thing that everybody wanted was a movie theater. So that all sounds good, but there's always a financial reason why that's important also. And we were fortunate. John Blankenship took a very hard look at this, run some numbers, and in this day and age, we know pretty well how many dollars a person will spend per year on different items, in this case, entertainment. And it works out to in around $125 per person. So we know that if we've got a trade area of $100,000 or more, how many entertainment dollars we should have coming in through our sales tax. Okay. And instead of having almost $125 million, we only have about $83 million. So that gap is leakage. What that means is they're probably spending $125 per head, but they're going somewhere else to do it. What's happening is instead of coming to Enid to our restaurants, they're driving down to Oklahoma City or Stillwater. Yeah. They're going to the movie. They're grabbing a couple shirts at Dillard's, and they're going out to eat. Then they fill up with gas before they come home. That's leakage. Those are all dollars that could have been spent in Enid that wasn't. So based on that gap that we have, if we only recapture 20% of that, and we know how much our sales tax is off of 20% of the leakage, our $2 million incentive and our $1.8 million loan can be paid off. We can recover all that money in about 4 years. So we're not just spending money, and that's what I always want the people of Enid to know. We don't just spend money for the sake of spending money. It's an investment, and we think this will return and be good for return all of our dollars, but it will also be good for all of our restaurants, all of our gas stations, and as people come in, they'll spend more dollars in every one of our retail locations as well. So theater is going to be good business for us, and I certainly hope that works out. We'll vote on that, like I said a while ago, tomorrow at 1 o'clock on the letter of intent, or commitment, however you want to word it. But I think it's going to be good for Enid. All the commissioners feel good about that. I mean, we have really looked at it hard, and I think you're going to see a very positive vote tomorrow. So I'm excited. Lot of good things going on in Enid. So I will, do you have any more questions? I know I kind of dominated the whole thing. I'm so sorry.
That's good information, and it's good that we're moving Enid forward. So
I think so. I think so. You know, I'll close with this. You'll hear me say it in almost every talk that I ever do, any opportunity I have to stand up in front of people. The only way that the city makes any dollars at all to do all the things that people want done are the fees on water, sewer, and trash, and sales tax dollars. And of all the sales tax dollars, we only get half of that. Actually, it's just a little less than half, but we only get half of that. We have to operate on that. So it's not raising taxes on people. We want more business. We want more people to buy more items local, and it drives that sales tax up. So as we move forward over the next few years, hopefully instead of fixing a pothole, we can repair the entire street and make it right. So that's our intention. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for asking the question. Thank you for being here and tuning in. Don't forget the website or the site to send your question. Email is askmason@enid.org. I'll try to answer any question that you send in. We want to be transparent and open, and but I want you to know that we're not slowing down. We are a city that's on the move, and it's going to continue to look different as we move forward. So thank you. Have a great day.